Okay, we should be live. Unfortunately, the music doesn't loop. Otherwise we would have music in the background right now. But we're gonna chill today with some coal. So that's pretty much the entire plan for today. We're gonna probably have about 5 hours of coal. Because I plan to do, we're doing a sky one this time instead of going down. But other than that, pretty standard. I can English today. But hopefully everyone's doing all right. I just wanted something, because I can't really start a new game on a Friday. It doesn't feel right, because pretty much I would be starting it and then not playing it for, 4 days straight? Which means I would forget every freaking thing about it. So chances are next Wednesday we'll be starting in on Shadow Hearts 3. I'm gonna bounce off of Solvars again. It will come back, just not right this second. You're coaling for 5 hours as well. Burning coal. But yeah, it is one of the more popular videos on Let's Play Everything. It's a fun game. It's nice and chill. Starting out, we're probably gonna derp up a few times in the early stages. It's been a while since I got to play, so it's probably not wisest of me to start on the sky map, but we don't really have anything else we can do on this screen, so it's just start day 1. Unfortunately, we also need to probably platform up. I put that 1 too high. Well, damn. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I think I want to go this way. That way I can get up into, if I can actually remember my controls. I do know one setting that I need to turn off, because I had it on whenever I was doing the last run, but I forgot to turn it back off. Auto sprint wrecks me, especially early on. It's just one of those that fights me the entire way, sadly. Thankfully, with this character, I don't have to worry about actually picking stuff up. It's the reason I choose them. Yep, yeah, that sounds about right for the number of views on the bigger one, 28K. It's not my most viewed video on YouTube, but it is one of the bigger ones on this particular channel. I think my most viewed video is sadly still, like, I want to say 150,000, maybe 120,000, somewhere in that range. I don't usually go back and look at how views are going on older videos, because then I start getting into the unfortunate situation of analytics paralysis, which is never a fun situation to be in. We do have enough coal, but we don't really have an easy vein of other stuff nearby. Pretty much the closest thing we're going to get is maybe 1 or 2 of those coppers, because I don't think we've a strong enough pick to get through the emerald before time's up. 132K? Yeah, I knew it was something, but I do have, I think, one video that's not Diablo 2 that's like 100K. But as far as these things go, I think we go for one. We definitely need time, but I do think we want to be getting some interns fairly early on, but we'll see. I do have another video releasing today on the main channel as well. I have a review of Moon Sigil, which I meant to release last week. I just wasn't happy with the script. I'm still not super happy with the script for it either, but it's better. It is better. So, for some reason, I have had the joyous amount of freaking writer's block lately. And we will go like that, as I think we can actually pick up in here. Yes, we can. Going up is going to be pretty important, but generally these first few stages are probably the most difficult on the sky map because, well, yeah, you don't have any flying or anything. And yeah, my main channel has more views than any of my side channels as far as individual videos go. I do have a not gaming channel, and And that one does okay, but it doesn't rely on getting high views to actually sustain itself. So I don't have to do weird promotional stuff with it. I can just exist, damn it. So, do any of you actually play Cole LLC yourselves? I did actually have someone drop in and ask for a copy of the game. Jeez, it would have been a few weeks ago. But I can't provide copies of it. I am sorry. It's not a terribly expensive game. It's just getting keys and stuff and distributing them can cause problems. Should probably go for that iron on the right. I don't think I'm going to be getting the mud blocks until, or clay blocks, whatever you want to call them, until a little bit later. Now, let's see. You don't have any videos that aren't Diablo that has 100k views, not even until your first Baldur's Gate 3. That are public. Unfortunately, to keep the algorithm from being completely screwed over, about the main channel has about, I want to say, at least 3,000 unlisted videos on it. I don't delete them. I unlist them because generally speaking, if people are going to have stuff on like forums or on Reddit and stuff like that, I don't want their links breaking. If they had something they wanted to show off or ask questions about, that should exist as long as my channel is still alive. At least that's my philosophy. The only videos I have gone from unlisted to private are ones that I no longer want to be even remotely associated with. Because, unfortunately, there are certain companies that have done extremely unethical things. And there is one series I did delete, and that was Shining Force 2, but that was back during the Shining fiasco. And yeah, I should probably be going after other stuff. What's my favorite weapon in Cole LLC? Ooh. My favorite is not the best. But I would say probably my favorite is the wand. These. The shoddy staves. I like them. They're just fun for me to play with. They're not the best in the game. Probably the best in the game is going to be kicks right now, because you can just turn it on to passive and run something else with it. Next would probably be the electric pickaxe. Probably. If I had to like choose one after that. There are a few that are kind of underpowered. Shoddy Orb is really weak, unfortunately. Shoddy Jet is fun. I do wonder how it works on a vertical map. Let's see. Do I just go straight for the next pickaxe? That is quite a bit. We can't really afford any of the wings or anything yet. I am going to get one intern. We'll go ahead and grab ourselves the better pickaxe. You'd say orbs get OP quick? They might have buffed them, but whenever they first released, especially if you're pushing like end game levels, they don't really give you that much clearing power. Because what ends up happening is you just don't have enough focused damage to get rid of stuff. You have to, if you have mining guys, you can kind of work with it. I did zip around the map with a shoddy orb. Oh, not a shoddy orb. It was the one way down freaking here. Would have been the Onyx orb, but the only downside of having a character that has this many items is I will have crap. Breaking on vert maps would be funny. One thing I do like about the vert maps is our little dudes there get wings. They basically are Red Bulled. So we should be, yeah, we can just one-shot most of the stuff here now because we now have blue. Can we actually get that? Thank you. So we could hop over here and get some fudge. Or I could just try and go up to the gray layer. Is it strong enough? Yeah, it is. Keep forgetting that I don't have the auto gather on. That's something we have to get later. Speaking of orbs, let's go for more pickaxe damage. But yeah, going up to the gray level seems like a wise idea at the moment. If I can actually jump. I am bad at video games lately. But thankfully, this game does not require you to be good. It just requires patience. And obviously, knowing how to make progress. But I do know a few people that have been also actually, oddly enough, bought this lately. I know that Mr. Gablin, the guy that we play on weekends with, actually went ahead and grabbed it as well. He got a ton of achievements already. It's just very cathartic. The game always listens. At least it's not as omnipresent as freaking like Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and stuff. I mean, we could go orb. It wouldn't be terrible on this map, at least not early on. It's just not good for pushing super late. Our next pickup is probably kicks, but I can switch over to doing orb for a little bit. The trick is, it's going to destroy a lot of terrain, so climbing is gonna suck. Just because I play everything doesn't mean I'm good at everything. I do a lot of things I'm bad at. Damn near every day. That said, I am a human being. We are shit at existing in general, so. I am thinking about, this is going to sound like the dumbest thing ever. I have actually been considering starting up another Let's Play Everything channel specifically for retro, well, games from my childhood. They actually have said that it does listen whenever you have, yeah. And it's encrypted end to end. They're still parsing it. Whenever there's like any platform with chat. Trust none of them. We should actually be pretty good on resources after this one, considering we jumped straight to gray. Could see if jets break. We could. They probably just work like the artillery shells. If I had to take a wild guess. They are a passive, so that works out pretty good too. We could just go mass destruction. And they also are not consumables, which is a huge thing. Yeah, we can mess around with that. What kind of resources do we end up getting from that? Not a ton. Yeah, 2,500. That's not bad. But let's go ahead. Since you want to see it tried. Okay, so we can get... You get iron. Do we have enough for... No, we don't have enough for stuff that I care about there. We can't get blue jet. We could get blue kick. But we wouldn't be able to get both of them at the same time. I'm mildly tempted to sell this just to get the sapphire jet. You know what? We can restart if it breaks. There you go. Yeah, I picked the ultimate destructor. It's my favorite. It's hands down my favorite profession because I don't have to worry about gathering stuff back. This game does not handle collectors very well. At low levels, it's fine, but as soon as you start hitting that population limit and they start condensing, you have to use the whistle to actually get through stuff, which it's fine, but it's distracting. Let's start day 4. And we will start just like there. Okay, so it comes in from the top. rather than from the bottom. So maybe they are actually broken. No, they're going up. So if we go there, it should... Yeah, they don't want to come down any further. So we don't have any way to get up there to see what they're doing. They are going up. See? They're working like artillery. So where do we want to aim next? Possibly there? It's my favorite. I oddly enough have not played War Thunder. I considered it for a while. The closest I've played is like World of Tanks. And generally speaking, that kind of stuff, I get motion sick with some of it. So it's kind of like, is it worth it to me? Nah. As I've gotten older, I've gotten more prone to motion sickness and stuff. I should probably be walking along the bottom placing our little reticule. I do need to get probably some kind of flight thing to be able to get up. Okay. I do a tweak on vert maps. Trust you don't want to? Okay. I just don't know if it's going to do enough damage to the gray because it is a little bit of a splasher. Yeah, we'll stop moving it around so much. Oh, on War Thunder? Yeah, no. Generally in games like that, I don't spend money anymore. I used to. The last game that I actually played online that I spent money in like that would be probably MechWarrior Online. I should play that on stream someday. I'm really bad at it now. I used to be in like the top 15% of players, which isn't like, oh wow, amazing, but it's good enough. But as far as like rankings and stuff like that go, I was in the top 15%. I don't know how the game's doing today with MechWarrior Online, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. I would rather play it with a bunch of friends in a custom lobby than to play it competitively anymore, though, because PvP stuff, especially things where you can chat with the other players, I don't do too well in, because I start mirroring any kind of toxicity, and when I mirror, I escalate. So, Casually also has like 3 times $2,000 tanks, by the way. Damn. I have a feeling my collection in MechWarrior Online would be worth some cash, but I don't want to get rid of it because I'll load it back up sometimes and try it. I have a lot of the premium mechs. I prefer games with slower time to kills as well, so that's another reason why War Thunder and World of Tanks and stuff like that probably something I shouldn't be looking at. Okay, so we should be able to afford you. We can get a jetpack. I don't think we're going to. Going to get you. And I would like to get at least something I can carry with me. We'll go ahead and get another sapphire pickaxe just so we can actually go up and help. Go ahead and pop you. Actually, we'll pop you down there. We don't need you doing anything. The one that I don't get is frickin', I'm trying to remember what it's called. Not Eve. Eve is another one that's kind of crazy with that stuff, but it's a space game that everyone kind of like pokes fun at people spending a bunch of money on. I can't for the life of me remember the name of it right now. Star Citizen, I think. Oh, you can one-shot about anything nowadays? Oh, that's unfortunate. Let's go with, you know what? Since we're doing airstrikes, might as well let them do some more damage. Yeah, it's working its way through those a little bit. Our little friend there can one-shot most of these things, but he's not going to be coming up. So we'd have to get like a worker item. One thing we can do while we are up here is move the jet a little bit closer. So let's go ahead and go to there. We'll put it like that. And I just noticed that it is actually dropping it on its path rather than... It's fine. Most games nowadays have things that let you just mince everybody. Yeah. MechWarrior Online, I don't know if it still is good about it, but it used to be really good about it for the most part. Obviously, if you're in a light mech, you're going to be a lot quicker to kill than if you were in an assault or something like that. Unless you are talking headshots, which are surprisingly difficult to do in that game. I'm pretty sure I did eventually unlock all of like the different achievements though. There might be one or two that I was still missing by the time I quit. We might also do some collab gaming on here as well. I'm trying to branch out a little bit. I'm trying to become more of a professional whenever it comes to this stuff. Considering I am a full-timer already, I might as well do it the right way. So that, and I enjoy streaming. There are people who do stream that don't. They do it as just a means to an end to promote their other stuff, which is always kind of sad to me. It is one of the hardest things to get traction in, but there are definitely people who really only excel at streaming. So they need that popularity to get their actual passion projects up and going. But hopefully the pick noises are not too loud. I should probably check that real quick. So we'll do a couple more picks here. We've got enough resources that we don't have to worry about failing the day. So I'm going to Alt-Tab. Actually, no, before I Alt-Tab, let's go here. I'll do a couple more picks, and then we will check the audio levels. Actually, let's just go ahead and turn them down a little bit. Walk. 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 That should be good. I was just noticing it peaking up pretty high. There we go. I thought I had gotten a message there. It was a false alarm. That's another reason why I wanted to chill today, is because I might be getting messages while I'm streaming, which is not common for me, but it is something that is going on right now. Not bad things, just, in fact, quite the opposite, but I do need to answer them. So how much are we going to end up with today? Probably a decent amount. I probably should have done a poll to see what we start with, but I chose this kind of last minute. Pretty much it was, as I finished editing the Moon Sigil video, I was like, you know what? We should just play some Cole LLC. I'm not feeling soul bars. Can't wait until we get kicks to go with this. But we sadly, before we get kicks, we unfortunately need to be grabbing whatchamacallit, any kind of flight, at the bare minimum wings, if not hoverboard. Because if we're destroying the floor underneath us, we're going to burn through our platforms and all that jazz way too quick. Okay. Ooh, we could take you up one. It's 10,000 for that. Still don't have a proper flight. We could do jetpack. I generally just skip it. Ooh. Shifting layers would not be bad, although we don't do quite enough damage to really lean into that. We don't have... Oh, we don't have enough silver yet on jet. Ugh. Green jet would not be bad. It is generally going to be our main source of stuff right now. We're just using the blue one to go through, and we should probably be using it to get the chests, now that I think about it, but Okay, your damage is 15, yours is 10, so that is a 50% bump. And we'll sell you and buy you. And let's go with... I'm going to skip on the looting one right now. We're going to go ahead and get you leveled up. We don't do the kick. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything we need right now. I'll go ahead and get a couple more platforms, just in case we possibly need them. I didn't mean to get that extra one. And we'll go ahead and get, I think, it's a handful of workers. Most of our workers are going to be up this other path to the senior vice president. We will eventually start getting the elementalists as well, because they'll let us actually mine through some halfway decent stuff. So we need to go with you. In fact, we'll probably put you right there with them, as they start mining up and doing their thing. Now that we have a purple one of those, grabbing the remove clay thing is not a terrible idea. We will go up this way and start getting our chests. We're not even going to worry about gathering the stuff ourselves. We're just going to let them do it. Oh, it feels so weird to not even have enough damage myself. We got, I think, a drop there. Some gems. But for now, we don't really have the pick power to go after clay in the... I'm not clay. After fudge or whatever you want to call them blocks in the stone layer. So I'm just going to go after these, get ourselves some small percent boosts. They don't really matter as much in the long run, but it'll help us accelerate into the better gear early on. So let's go ahead and truck over here. I do wonder how much this is actually played on Twitch. I know it's played a lot on YouTube. And I know that Dangerously Funny and I don't remember if Idle Cub has done a lot of it. There's several other content creators that have that dip into this. I know why they do. But this is not ideal. It's good for getting resources, but yeah, I know why they do, but it's because it's a mix of fun and, generally speaking, it is a fairly, I don't know why this is, it's fairly, like, good for ad quality, if that makes sense, which is really kind of in the weeds discussion. But generally the ad revenue, like, per ad is slightly better on this game than other similar games. And I don't know why that one is. I don't think there being coal in the name actually makes that much of a difference. And yeah, we are going to get quite a bit today. Wow, we're getting all the freaking gold chain guns. Jeez. Gold weapons for days. Could probably even go up another layer with this, but let's go mining damage. I want you. And let's go with airstrike damage. And then back to our other nonsense. We've already gotten 13,000 freaking coal on this. It's not, and we're not even playing optimally. We're just horsing around. Because that's what I do 90% of the time when I'm playing this game, is I just go for having fun. Maybe try out a random build that may or may not work. Today, we're pretty... Oh, I hate shotguns. Nope. I don't even care if it's... What? I just swapped weapons, and we apparently still have shotgun. Let's go with pick max mining damage. Sure, why not? Jump velocity probably would not have been a bad pick either. And we should be closing in on a dune for the day. So let's just, yeah, there's another fudge. Give me your treasure. We might be able to get a few more. Airstrike rate, yes. You can get them to be rather quick as well, which is hilarious. It's basically like having multiples of them at certain points. And bonk. That was, I think, just more amethysts, unfortunately. I don't think we're going to be getting another unfortunate chest. No, yeah, we're not going to be able to get that in 10 seconds. So I'm just going to grab trash along the way. I don't feel like climbing around aiming for specific stuff, so we'll just mine to the right. There we go, 17,000 coal, day whatever the hell we're on. Now, once we hit negatives, I am going to call it, just a heads up. For those of you wondering, at a certain date, your actual requirement flips negative, and there is no way for you to lose, so. Bonuses? Okay, we are going to take you, because that gives us the ability to not have to use platforms. Screw platforms and the horse they rode in on. I'm not a fan of them. I should probably just meh this. Oh yeah, it doesn't like enters in there. There we go. Okay, as far as what we want to be doing, we can get silver plane. We can get kicks now. So we'll sell you, we'll get silver jet. We will get probably green kicks. Just because they're both kind of nice passive things. And we'll get ourselves 2 more of you guys. So now we should be pretty much free to do whatever the hell we want. And those are going to shred through plenty of stuff. Let's go increase kick damage. Kicks are busted. I do find it sad that that's still not doing enough damage to actually one-shot these blocks. It does enough to be semi-useful, though. Can we get to the gray blocks with this? It's going to be a slow one. Come on, give me that. We'll go down and get the clay one as well. Okay, so that is... Thought we had the... Oh, did we not get the one-click chests? Thought we did. Let's go airstrike rate. And we'll go airstrike damage. We probably should have gone with kick damage, but eh. That'll at least focus stuff there. But yeah, we're just going for chill today. We will be back to RPGs on Wednesday. Well, actually, technically, we'll be back to RPGs tomorrow, as long as Gablin's available. More kick damage, sure. We do not support kick damage here. We support YouTube and Twitch damage. Why? Because we can. And bonks. Yeah, for the most part, I find games like this cathartic. That's one reason why we've been doing so many incremental games, too. It is just a matter of very nice catharsis. Okay, so we got you. We'll do more airstrike damage. And I think we want to be moving our planes over at this point. So maybe like here? Where are our miner guys, by the way? Okay, so they're just wandering off over there. Oh, you are being useless there, purple man. Come on. I'm going to clear stuff out from around you so you go up. You have a stronger pickaxe than me. Go. Airstrike rate, yes. Yeah, I need this guy going up. Get me more resources there, friend. More resources. Don't mind if he helps me with that stone fudge block over there, but... This one definitely exhausts my thumb a lot. This flight method. Mainly because it is constantly having to tap that nonsense. So what day do you think we'll get to before we start even, like, remotely struggling? And I think we already got the drop from that. It was a gem or something. Sir? Sir, stop going left and right, please. They do attack in a dome pattern, but they like wandering in, like, the least convenient ways possible. Okay, we'll go down there. That way it'll probably actually destroy these blocks. Or not. Fine, sir. Keep your secrets. Hey, DF. Yeah, all the button mashing. Possibly even some of them that are in button mashing podcasts. What? How are you doing today? I am hoping that my audio doesn't sound absolutely horrible with the clink, clink, clink all the time. But it shouldn't, but it is showing that it is peaking up into the yellows. That said, I could just do that. To minimize that ever so slightly. Tired, but also amazing. Just finished work and have a 4-week holiday ahead of you. Oh man! If I had a 4-week holiday, I wouldn't actually know what to do. I have never had more than a week straight off since like childhood. And even then, there was a school I went to where we only got 2 weeks off at the longest. That was only for a few years. That wasn't long term. Bonuses, that thing's $500,000. We don't want to mess with that. We are going to go ahead. We're going to get stronger stuff first. Do you play many incremental games? Do we just... You know what? I'm going to go full ham for a while. We're going to go orbs. Why? Because we can. And we'll go silver kick. Orbs are just meh. USA is weird like that. No, but seriously, you do have other standards than the Europeans. I don't get why many of my fellow countrymen cannot figure out, hey, maybe we shouldn't be killing unions, and maybe we should actually promote a work-life balance rather than working ourselves to death and then just basically being in a shitty state in retirement. You need to enjoy things while you're young. Whenever you're old, you'll enjoy it for a day and then have to recoup half the vacation for the rest of the time you have off. Okay, we're gonna go there. We're gonna go kick. Then we're gonna go lasers. But yeah, lasers are fairly fun whenever you're going through this weaker layers. But as soon as you get into the deep layers, it just doesn't hold up. Look at him go. We don't even have to aim. Okay, can we get something good? That's just another... We're using the fecking shotgun. I hate the shotgun. Shotgun is absolute rat garbage. And I will stand by that until the end of days. I hate it. Orb radius, sure. We'll make a bigger orb. Are we actually able to get through blues? It doesn't look like it. They'll vote for me as president. I'm old enough to be president now. We have a minimum age for it, so... Which I find ridiculous, but... I would rather actually have a maximum age limit. I'm a firm believer that, generally speaking, there are some older people that are exceptions to this. I don't think people should be making laws and policy and long-term decisions for a country if chances are they're not going to be alive to feel the repercussions of that. It just doesn't feel right to me. Can we even really... Well, with the plane, we might be able to actually do something with this. The other thing we could do is actually drop down there and get our pickaxe guy up here. By getting rid of everything around him. Let's see. This is not the same game as last time. This is Coal LLC. This is it's not quite an incremental game. It is just a mining... It is incremental to an extent, as in you are going to get ridiculously large numbers, but it is much more of deconstruction of Minecraft, basically, is the way I'd call it. You're waiting for pizza, so you might just... Oh, pizza does sound good. I've been doing so good. I'm down 10 pounds. I probably shouldn't be thinking pizza, but... And I want to lose weight for something next month, so... I will resist the urge of your temptation. Your tempting ways, DF. making me crave really good food. That said, I've had good food today already. I had some deviled eggs for breakfast. Some people are going to be like, "Oh, the fuck, deviled eggs are..." It's just like scrambled eggs with vinegar. You're fine. But yeah, just a nice cheesy pizza. Sounds good. Okay, so that is quite a bit of resources. We don't actually have to aim, we just have to stay up. Gonna leave a lurk while you enjoy your yummies. Enjoy your yummies! I shall live vicariously through your pizza. What toppings did you get, by the way? If you're before you disappear. Let's see. If I just stand on there, I don't even have to fly for a while. Pepperoni. Classic. Classic, good one. Oddly enough, the past few pizzas I've gotten, I've been mostly really going for bland stuff, unlike whenever I was younger, oddly enough. I used to go for a lot of sausages and pepperonis and stuff like that, but lately I have been craving an extra black olive and extra cheese pizza. No idea why. I need more salt in my diet. I live on the internet. Only way I could get more sodium is if I played League. Okay. Oh, we got a diamond in that somehow. That was unexpected. Okay, bonus-wise, we will get rid of that one. Hey, Waffle. Just had a breakfast sandwich and heading to the gym soon. Also love olives on pizza. Yeah. I am a sucker for black olives. I also will forever drive home the point. I worked in service industries most of my life. Technically, this is also sort of a service industry, but it's more entertainment. But for most of my life, I actually worked directly in service industries. If someone asks for extra pickles, extra jalapenos, or extra black olives, the rule just needs to be, no, you don't just give double. You don't just give 1.5 times. Those are insulting numbers. Anyone who asks for extras of those wants to have it so that their entire, lineage can taste those toppings. They want enough to... They want war crime levels of those toppings if they ask for extra. It is not a question of... It's like the Parmesan thing, where you have... Whenever they say win on the Parmesan, you just don't say win until the entire block of cheese is gone. That is what extra means. Whenever you say extra, you mean fucking extra. But there's a lot of people and places that do not get that. It should just be a rule. It's also one of the reasons why I will never open a restaurant, because I would flat out say, well, you know what, we're going bankrupt to provide this person with extra jalapenos. Or extra olives. Oh, one of the best pizzas ever. And sadly, I haven't been able to find a place that'll do it for me again. But basically, there was a place in, I want to say it was Oklahoma. It might have been in Texas. It was one of those two places that I would go to, and I would order extra cheese, extra black olives. And they eventually learned that there is no amount of extra black olives they could do to make me go there less. In fact, the more black olives they gave me, the more I tipped them. So it started to be kind of like a little bit of a challenge, and good God, was it good. Let's see. Double equals double, extra equals I want to only see that and nothing else. Exactly. I have explicitly said it whenever ordering on the phone was a normal thing, that I really do want enough that pretend I am an ex you hate and they hate olives, and give me that many. And they gave me a decent amount. Admittedly, that one was on... I forget what they actually called it. I think they just called it a taco pizza. But it was a thin crust with beans, enchilada sauce, a Fiesta blend kind of cheese, and I think... Oh, I'm trying to remember the name of it. The Mexican melting cheese was on there too. And then they'd cook that up on a thin crust, so you'd actually have it kind of taste pretty decent right there. And then they would put on any lettuce and tomatoes and stuff like that afterwards. So that's the one that I usually got extra olives there with. So I don't know if getting ungodly amounts on that one would be as worth it, because you have a lot of veggies and stuff on it anyway. Speaking of which, if you ever find a place with a thin crust taco pizza, give it a try. It's a lot better than it sounds. I'm always a fan of trying out the odd, different kind of experimental stuff at local and regional places, because that's whenever you start finding out that just because it's not national doesn't mean it isn't good. I am a firm believer in experimenting with foods. Unless you're allergic to stuff, don't experiment with food that you're allergic to. Don't blame me for that shit. Oh, we're not even halfway through the day. Where are our mining guys? Hello, guys. I'm here to liberate you. Sir, you are the most important one not to stay down here. Badge. You're I'm going to go ahead and clear out a vertical path. We're setting a fire line for this guy. There you go. Hopefully he'll eventually just go straight up. There you go, buddy. Now let's go get ourselves chests. I could have sworn that I got single click. Maybe, did I not click that? Did I skip over that because I was going to spend it on something else? I think I might have. I'll check whenever we get to this next one. We should have enough to afford it for an extent. Not like we're struggling on any of these days. We will get a little bit of a point, probably, I want to say it's near day 40 that we'll probably have a little bit of a struggle, but it's not going to be too bad. But yeah, we didn't invest in magic wands. One thing I do like about some of the changes they made is they've actually made it so that it is weighted towards whatchamacallit. My brain just farted. But yeah, so that it's weighted towards the weapons that you actually have purchased. Let's go. We'll do faster kick speed. We want to get that up fast anyway. That unfortunately is pretty much going to be your primary thing by the end, because what you'll generally want is kick and water. That is probably what we're going to end up doing. I don't mind messing around with other stuff until then, but okay, let's keep going around. Yeah, we should be fine. Yeah, faster kick rate results in us just getting way more hits. It is multiple hits, basically. To other bonuses. Your best weapons are going to be ones that have improved attack speed and improved damage. There are caps, but who cares? Okay, that's not too bad. 187, not ideal, but oh, we didn't actually get it. Okay, so now we do. Equipment-wise, definitely need to upgrade our stuff. Can't afford ruby kicks. Can't afford ruby orb. Could do gold kicks, which is at least an upgrade. Can we do... Could do purple plane. Couldn't afford gold plane in that, unfortunately. And yeah, we're going to start moving up this way as well, getting the VPs. Okay, so you start bombing there. We'll get you running. Still need way more damage. Increase kick speed. Now, we could just shift straight over to doing the water thing right now. It probably wouldn't be the worst idea to just get started on early so we get the improvements. In fact, you know what? We are going to do that. We're going to go heavy water. Heavy rain? No. Although I wouldn't mind playing through that at some point. I don't... It's one that I would use a guide on it so I can get the endings and stuff that I want and find all the secrets. We do have an ad coming in fairly soon. You won't miss any story beats, because this doesn't really have much of a story. Comes with the territory. Yeah, I think plane, kick, and water is where we want to be. I do think those are the optimal choices once you've actually started getting your verticality answered, which in this case is flight. You don't need it whenever you're going down, but it does help. I also need to clean out the fridge today. I just remembered. Man. But yeah, ad starts in about 2 minutes. No story beats shall be missed. No mist shall be story beated. Oh, fine. Yeah, sorry if I'm not like a super exhilarating commentator today. I'm just here to have fun and relax. Because I've been juggling some things, but things are looking actually kind of up at the moment, which is always a good time. Obviously, that just means things will crash in the end and it'll be rah, 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 but we've been through worse. We have been with better. Seriously though, if you guys want me to stream this more regularly, I can. But generally speaking, if I'm going to stream things like Cole LLC or just like even miscellaneous games, I'm probably going to do those in the evenings rather than in the mornings. Because morning is like RPG time for me. Whenever I first roll out of, well, actually, it's not even rolling out of bed for me because technically, mornings for normal people, where I'm at, is evenings for me. So usually in the morning, I'm more interested in a good story. When I first wake up, I don't feel like thinking. Not that I particularly do that a lot anyway, but you get the point. Can we actually even do much to these? We could do that. Can we get any reds? Those are not resource reds, unfortunately. There's one right there. Can we get resources from them? Probably. Need to get diamonds going as well. I cannot wait until we get the hoverboard so I don't have to keep pressing space. That's going to be half mil, so it's probably going to be about day 15 before we see that. Unless, well, I suppose we could get it sooner than that. Speaking of which, I should be grabbing some of these blocks. Because we were actually running out of time there. Let's go ahead and grab you. Let's go kick damage. Do we get rid of stone this time? That is that is a question. Okay, so ooh, lightning pickaxe. That's actually a good one for us. Let's do airstrike damage. I'll get us way more in the way of resources. We didn't get it out in time. But we do have a chest there that we can grab. So I won't deny free chests. Oh, that was a blasted diamond. It wasn't worth it. No. Nar. Can we get in there before it time? Nope. No, we weren't able to get in. We would have had to squeeze around that side in less than a second, and I am not coordinated enough for that. How much are we looking at? 380,000. We might actually get enough tomorrow. Now that I'm seeing that. Bonuses, though. Let's go ahead and get rid of the rock layer. Leaves us 311,000 to play with. Could go bigger bomber, which would be gold. I'm going to get rid of the arb. We're going to go a water. Which, really think water gun. Still leaves us 280,000 to play with, though. So that is time for gold jet. And let's go ahead and get you ready to go up. And we'll start getting these kind of grouped into 10s. Unfortunately, we do need to get up to the strong elementalist to turn this into water, but I do want to get one headed up there anyway. Start day 11. 2, we'll go ahead and drop that there. Ta-da! Go fast, my guys. Be strong. And yeah, water is a great boost in this. Yeah, we'll go ahead and start boosting wet damage as well, because that's going to allow us to farm pretty much anywhere we damn well please. We'll go ahead and make that a little wet. We're going to make everything a little bit wet around here. Yes. If that doesn't make you uncomfortable, I don't know what will. Unfortunately, the water thing actually works better whenever you are going down than up, because it has a bit of a diminishing speed. But yeah, we're already well past quota. That's always welcome. Can we actually even... We don't really have single target damage right now, so getting the red blocks is gonna be kind of iffy. Not even iffy Wadway. Actually, is that actually his last name, or am I misremembering it in my fugue state of being an internet person? Let's go increase wet damage even more. Yeah, our next big purchase is 100% freaking hoverboard. Hoverboard. Always hoverboard. How are you guys in there? I thought you had destroyed it. But no, you decided to just embed yourselves. Awesome. At least the rewards that we can get are a lot closer. Like, the good ones are closer to the bottom now that we can get rid of trash. Oh, we'll go airstrike damage. I should probably get kick speed as well, but who cares? Get all that moistened. And yeah, we're good. These guys are not doing particularly great themselves, but between the airstrikes and our kicks, I think we're going to be able to farm red relatively easily. Obviously, the remove a floor things only go to a certain point, so it's not like we can remove all the way until the bottom layer. And also, I don't have to ruin my mouse playing this, because if you're wondering, am I actually pressing the attack button? No. Currently, I have it set to... I press right-click and it just continuously fires whatever we're on. Otherwise, this would be a terrible, terrible choice. Okay, let's go ahead and get some water going up there so that our plane path can do its thing. Got to get up in there into the crevasse. Now we're just going to sit right here until this gets mined out, and then we'll move on to another one. Yeah, as long as we can keep where the plane is flying wet, we're going to get good resources. I don't know how far up it actually goes, because on the normal downward maps, you don't have to worry about a maximum height. So theoretically, we could just get strong enough to have it just leave a freaking V shape throughout the entire level, even into the Blackstone. I think we can get rid of the red, but I might be misremembering. Okay, so nothing over there. Did you guys liberate anything over here? Nope. Well, butt cheeks. I should have probably had some caffeine before this, I'm realizing. Because every time I do stream this, every single time I do record this, I usually am fairly caffeinated. Okay, so we have hoverboard. Okay, so we can only shift it up 3 more? Okay. Okay, so we can get rid of the black rock. That is the last one. Okay, next up we go with... Can get reds. Okay, so that needs 430,000. We can't sell for enough. So let's start sending you up, and then we'll grab what we can of the reds there. We do want to get it up to a diamond one. These are the strongest ones by far, and whenever they start condensing, they get scary. Oh yeah, I forgot. I have hoverboard. I don't have other nonsense. I do think we want to upgrade kick next time so we can actually get these easier. And we will go... We'll do some kick damage. And now just to spread our wet hatred everywhere. I'm a bog witch! We are turning this into the... We're turning it into a McDonald's bathroom because we're just drizzling everywhere, but damn. I don't know why my brain went there first, but that's where we're at. Okay, let's see. If I get this up here, will it eventually get through the Blackstone? Our water doesn't last forever, but it lasts long enough for it to not be an issue. Okay, so you actually have a pretty decent dive arc there, guy. And then you get up in there. We shouldn't need to worry, honestly, at all about resources for a very, very, very long time. And yes, I will be dipping out to check on stuff. I could go get some caffeine. Could just let this run while I go do that. You know what? I think I am going to. Be right back. I have returned with coffee. Despite the fact that my guy has a banana circling him, I just realized. It's actually some pretty good clearance just without us even interfering with it. I think that's pretty solid. Are we going to be able to... No, we're not able to reenact it just yet. Once you get a really high-speed kick with water and decent damage on it, you can drill through stuff with it. It is wild. I was doing that at the end of the last video I made on Cole. Kick speed, we definitely need... We definitely need kick speed up to be able to do that. Because you have to essentially have it going maximum speed all around you. So that everything gets basically constantly fired by it. Currently, we're nowhere near fast enough on it. I'm kind of just curious if we can get through this nonsense. Because I would not mind getting one red chest. Let's go there. We got 8 seconds. Don't think it's going to work. No. How much did we end up getting? Probably not as much as we would have if I had been here the entire time. You only 2.7. Which isn't bad. It's not exactly where I want to be. Yeah, we'll get you. So we need bonuses. We're fine with those right now. We can't even do, well, we could do diamond hands. We can't do diamond feet. Could do red feet. In fact, I think that's what we're going to do. Bonuses, employees. I think we do employees. We'll go ahead and get you. Second one of those. Get these guys squared away. And start getting diamonds. I think that's everything we want. We could do miner whistle as well. How much does the mining whistle cost? 15 grand? Yeah, we can start doing that. That's going to be a relatively easy one to do. To afford, that is. Welcome, fools. Let's go increase kick damage. We're leaning into kicks. We're, generally speaking, leaning into kicks is pretty much always the best bet. In fact, I think right now, since we are doing so well on some of this stuff, I'm gonna go and focus in on getting chests. We'll do a sweep where we can actually just get the reds a little bit moistened for our plane. Yeah, just moisten along its path, and then we'll go and deal with the other nonsense. So that's most we can do there. And that's going to just get us a bunch of resources like so. Then we focus in on blue to actually get as many chests as we can get. Kick speed, yes. I don't know what the max on kick speed is. There does feel like there is one. You can still claim it. It doesn't feel like it actually does anything after a certain point. But there might not be an actual cap. It might just be a frame rate thing. Sirs, you are going the wrong direction, so I'm going to have to control you a little bit. They are being a pain in the ass. Because the diamond ones are the ones we actually want going up. So we're just going to try and basically firewall them in here. Because they're also the ones that are going to be mining for us to go super deep. towards true ending territory. How many of you have actually gotten the true ending on this, out of curiosity? Because I know some of you do play it. Okay, so we have that squaring away. Now that we're at halfway, those guys are actually going up. Let's go into the blues. And just find out what all we can do in here. As far as our modifiers. Let's go kick speed again. Much more fluid feeling now. Sadly, we can't really go after the red boxes at the moment. Would like to. They are more profitable, but it takes forever for us to mine through them. Whereas the blue ones, I can grab and just move on to the next one. And we're going to get more overall. A second, I'm going to kill this damn gnat. I think I didn't get it. We're going to go airstrike damage. It is good for just passive resources. It's not going to be our main thing at the moment. Airstrike rate. Actually, how are we looking on those? Yeah, rate 85 and 55. I should probably keep those relatively balanced. At least until we start getting up into like the thousands. Wet damage, yes. Kick speed. We want kick speed until it is just a blur. So we have about a quarter of the day to get as many more chests as we possibly want. Okay, so it just doesn't like me doing that stuff. Okay, we're going to go increase kick damage. Kicks are... We're probably going to have to be picking kicks. We actually want to delve deep. Wet damage, yes. There's a minigun. I don't know why it doesn't let me actually swap off stuff anymore. It used to. Makes me not want to grab chests with anything gold in them. Though thankfully, as we get further in, gold is going to be far less common. In fact, I think it might actually even be the Blackstone layer that they stopped dropping gold weapons. But I could be misremembering. It's not that they couldn't do it either, though, because there are plenty of... we'll go damage. But there are plenty of other weapons that you could be grabbing pretty much towards the very end. Okay, so there's garbage. We're not using the shotgun. We're not getting pushed around by that shit. I have a feeling it's probably like 4 or 5 million, if not way higher. 6 mil. I was close enough. Now we have 10 of you. Can we afford anything good with 6 mil? We can go diamond. You are 4.3. We wouldn't get enough from it. That said, we can get our maximum level of water gun. Now, the reason why I go water gun instead of water wand, I mean, water staff, let's see, size 12 versus this only being size 10 is because, unfortunately, going with this is so slow and inconvenient. It's just unfortunate, even. We did go diamond foot, which probably means we can go through red. I will probably get this if we can go through red. So we've got that going up. Let's go with groups of 10 there. Okay, we can't afford 10 of them, but we'll go ahead and just go with 17. Yeah, I forget what ratio I usually want between them. I want to say it is... Let's go ahead and drop you there. Yeah, I want to say it was somewhere in the lines of... Oh yeah, we can totally drill through red. Like 10-1 is what I was thinking. Okay, so we can't go into the black yet. But we can sort of do... Yeah, we can sort of do the blackstone if we need resources. I don't think we need to, though. Let's go wet damage. How much is our wet damage looking at? 22%. Yeah, wet kicks on Route 66. More kick speed, absolutely. It's still not at blur state, so that is still pretty important for us. I might have to like start shifting my schedule for streaming too, and I don't want to do that because I like the community we have. I know that most of you actually prefer RPG streams though, so let's go kick damage. Can't go fast, we go hard. Ooh, yes please. But yeah, I don't think... Yeah, this is nowhere near getting into that territory. I forget what we actually need to be getting through the Blackstone. With, like, any kind of efficiency, that is. We'll do wet damage. Just trying to think how far... We might not even just go for, like, the negative days. We might just go for true ending, which I think is... I want to say 25? I legitimately don't remember what day true ending is on. That's not sad and a half. I've played through this so many times that I just don't even pay attention to when the endings proc. It's just another day to me. I know that's very much like, oh, you've played too much of this game territory, but whenever you find something that gives you some level of catharsis, don't be afraid to enjoy it. As long as it's not harming anybody, it is fine. There's never a reason to be ashamed of it, unless it is actually detrimental to somebody else. Definitely getting way more resources now that we can plow through the red. Give me that. And yeah, we don't have to really worry about much. Okay, so that was another gold thing. Why can you not give me purple script thingies? Pink diamonds are nice, but I want the purple scrolls there, friend. Every single time. Did they change the weighting of the items? Or am I just getting really shit RNG? I'm still pissed that it doesn't let me do the like weapon swap to go back to my original thing anymore. I'm not sure where that one's coming from. It just feels kind of derpy. Kick damage, because that's the only thing there that's even halfway useful. Kick speed, almost blur level. Not quite. We're actually not even close to blur level. Blur level, it is literally just constantly showing around us. This, we can still almost pick out the path that it's doing. We'll go airstrike rate. You're getting rate limited on your airstrikes there, friend. Why are you like this? I probably should have taken kick speed there. Another nice advantage of the game is I can do a lot of back scratching. Hello, Viva. How are you doing today? Hopefully things are going pretty chill for you. We're just chilling with some coal at the moment. Tossing coal. And scratching our back with a nice bamboo back scratch. 100% recommend. Best investment you could ever get as you start getting older is a good back scratcher. That and a comfortable chair. I'm working on the latter. Definitely have the former. Do you play Cole LLC, Viva? Okay, bonus-wise, we can definitely get rid of that. Can we get a higher level kick? I think we can get a pink diamond kick. And then we can just get this up to diamond just because we're doing it. My day's going pretty good. Looking forward to some stuff that I get to do later. We'll probably have to take a nap beforehand, but that's a whole different discussion. Start day 15. Okay, so we need to start our plane. We need to start our wetness. Can we get through Blackstone is a question. Not super quickly, but yes. Not enough to be getting the whatchamacallit from it. I say the whatchamacallit. Not to be getting the chest from it. So we still need to be doing red for that. More kick damage. Yeah, kicks are the cornerstone. Can I get through that? Negative. Oh, I'm remembering what we forgot to get. You don't have your own PC yet. You love to watch play video games. It's really fun. It's 9:28 p.m. at night, so... Well, thank you for deciding to drop in for your evening. The company is appreciated. You definitely do need to get some good rest. It's important for staying healthy. Let's go more kick speed. Yeah, right now we're just basically going for a true ending on this one. I don't think I'm gonna go full like 69 days. Yes, I did go 69 days, but at a certain point in that one, due to it going negative, I really did just drop in and be like, okay, day end. Because once you hit the point where it all flips negative, it's just like, okay, I would have to find a way to lose coal to not get through the day. Man, all these like non-selection ones. Kick damage. Yeah, all the non-selection ones just make it go even faster, I guess. We'll go airstrike damage. I don't really want to care too much about getting miners, but we might end up doing that. Thank you. I appreciate the kind words. Do you have any consoles or anything that you play games on, or do you just enjoy chilling I know there are a lot of people that watch on phone as well, so I should probably ask phone too. I keep meaning to do this, but it's a bit of a hassle because I'd actually have to go in and mess around in BIOS, but I keep meaning to cover some mobile games just because back whenever I did regularly play them, it was back before the mobile game market had really evolved as much as it is now. I do want to go back and see if there are actually any particularly good... I'm trying to think of how to phrase it, but not free to play mobile games, but actual just purchase and play mobile games. Because I think there is a lot of opportunity there for a lot of devs that is currently just kind of being tossed away because of the preconceived notion that mobile just means gotcha and stuff like that. Just to watch people playing games because you don't have your own PC yet. Understandable. That is 100% fair. That kind of sounds like what I do with certain TV shows. If I don't have the ability to stream it, I will still sit there and I will actually watch folks theorycraft and discuss different aspects of the show if it's something I'm particularly interested in. That way I can kind of get a good feel for it right before I splurge and spend for the 1 month of stuff and then binge watch it myself afterwards. Oh, more kick speed. Yeah, this type of game is just super nice, chill, and enjoyable. Another thing I do want to cover at some point is YouTube games. They love showing them to me like first thing, even though I haven't even opened one ever. So I really am curious as to why they think I am motivated to play YouTube exclusive games, I think is what you would refer to it as. It's the ones that you can play in your browser. That said, Jezball I can play in my browser as well. Fun game from the 90s. In fact, it might even be from the 80s. If you're wondering what Jezball is, it's one where you have to basically cut off a certain percent of the level. As you... Let's go more kick damage. We probably should have gone for wet damage there. A gnat is going to drive me insane. Well, more insane. I never claimed to be too mentally stable. But, yeah. In fact, I can pretty much verify that technically I am not all mentally normal. But I think that's true of pretty much every YouTuber I have ever known. Whether it is just something as simple as like depression or anxiety, or something complex as schizophrenia, or I think what other ones. Multiple personality disorder is one that I don't know anybody with. Although, isn't it dissociative? No, dissociative identity disorder is a separate one, but stuff like that. We probably shouldn't be diving into like deep psychological discussion, because I am not a psychologist. I am not licensed to practice on your mental health or aid you with mental health issues. Just because I enjoy studying it does not make me licensed. There's our first day. I think it's 25 for the true ending, or is it 35? Now we're going endless mode, because we are not winner chicken dinner until we get there. 55 million. We still can't get rid of that. That's fine, because we can't actually harvest that super easy. We need to be able to harvest black stone easy. We get rid of you. Oh yeah, I know what else we needed to buy. What's the genre today? Chill. That's the entire genre. Just chill. Okay, so we want... Oh, actually, we want to do 5 here first. But this kind of... I would generally say this is incremental, but it's not. Not in the traditional sense. Incremental games are usually more feedback loop. This one is more like a deconstruction of Minecraft. Instead of building stuff up, the whole thing is just the joy of mining. Which, funny thing, I actually do enjoy mining in Minecraft. I do find it actually kind of cathartic to strip mine and to do grid mines as well. But since I didn't want to start a new, like, full-blown RPG today, I had to kind of, like, decide which path do I want to go down. And, well, this one won. It was either going to be this, Noita, or possibly, I'm forgetting the name of it, Soulstone Survivors. And that was all of our money. Oh my goodness, oh my soul. And you go there. Now we just wet everything up. Employee minor damage. Hey, thank you, game, for finally giving me employee minor damage. Maybe we can actually get through Blackstone. Can we? With our little friends, maybe? I don't think we can easily harvest the chest there. But we are starting to get it to the blur point. Increase airstrike damage. Although, the percent we get from this is so much better than red, it actually is worth it. Never mind. And we will go increase kick damage. Can we? Yeah, now we can start digging through this stuff a little bit easier. Let's do airstrike damage up again. I would like you guys to come up this way. I can force it if they don't want to. Go increase wet. Now, getting down to the bottom layer in here, well, not bottom, top layer, because we're playing the inverted map. Yeah, getting down to the top layer in this one could take a little bit longer than 35 or whatever. But we've already proven that we can get negative numbers and all that fun jazz and just kind of relax. Let's go with increased kick speed. Yeah. We want it just flashing all around us like an irresponsible game designer. Speaking of which, this game surprisingly does not seem that bad about like kind of epileptic stuff. There's a few things, such as the airstrikes can do it. Mortars can do it, where it's a lot of on-screen flashing, but for the most part, it does a good job at avoiding it. Here's the airstrike rate. I should probably grab a few kick damage ones from this as well. We're already doing really good on our progress. Speaking of the devil, it heard me. The game heard me. I'm so happy. It's like it works in a restaurant and yelled heard. There are a lot of people that are not going to get that. And then those of you that do will know one of the things I've done as a job. Oh, let's go. Bleh. It's bleh. My RNG luck lately has been absolute butt cheeks in like everything. If you're wondering why I'm playing. My D&D character has, I want to say, I think it's plus 10 stealth. We'll go more damage on them. But yeah, plus 10 stealth. I don't think I rolled over a 14 on a stealth check last session that we played of that. If that tells you kind of how my RNG luck has been lately. But things are looking up in non-RNG stuff. Unless I completely fuck something up. Which is a distinct possibility. I'm good at that. Whenever things start looking up, my brain just starts going, oh, we're gonna fuck it up. Go fuck that shit up. Pardon my French, but... Why would butt cheeks be a bad thing, though? Well, I mean, depending on context. Butt cheeks of... Good butt cheeks is a good thing. Bad butt cheeks... And this is not why I say butt cheeks. Butt cheeks is just easy thing for me to pop through my head. But as far as bad butt cheeks, have I told you the story about the Black Forest? And I'm not talking about ham. But yeah, I used to work with a guy who did maintenance at one of the places that I worked. And I swear to God, I saw his butt more than my own on a regular basis. And dude, I swear it was like looking into the void, because he was a fairly pale fellow, but he had pitch black hair. And not just on his head. So his aversion to wearing a proper belt, along with working a job where you have to bend over and get under shelves or get under machinery a lot. Yeah. I saw the void. The void indeed did look back. My soul has regretted it ever since. I have admittedly seen worse things, but that is just a fun, awful story from the days of working with the public in interesting senses. I have admittedly probably seen enough asses to last anyone for their entire life. Customer and employee. It also sometimes farted back. Thankfully, he was not a big crop duster. We did have one that worked at that same place, though. He was... The crop duster was actually one of the supervisors. He would intentionally, and I mean intentionally, eat a bunch of stuff like Taco Bell and stuff like that just for the objective of crop dusting employees, which was not professional in the least. Of course, he was not the sharpest tool in the shed. He was I guarantee you he was definitely a jock in school. But the guy, I'm trying to think of probably the best example of his misspellings. He spelled feature F-E-A-C-H-E-R. F-E-A-C-H-E-R. So, not exactly the smartest person. And his only language was English. But it was redneck English. Hey, Nguyen, how's it doing? It's okay. Real life comes before coming into the stream. You were missed. But I understand. I wholeheartedly understand that real life does have to come first. We were just having a chill day with some Cole LLC today, but we'll be back on the Shadow Hearts train on Wednesday. I want to finish up the third game, and then I can actually just knock out a review for each of them kind of in a row. I also need to finish the Divinity Original Sin 2 review, and Final Fantasy VIII's pretty far along as well. I might revisit the Final Fantasy Tactics review, but I want to get back to like maybe trying to get out a review a week. So that means that videos over here might fall off a little bit. We shall see. I have a bit of an odd sleep schedule right now for good reasons. Now here becomes a question. Do I bother saving my resources so I can actually get that next time? Probably not. We're not gonna... Oh, the fire layer we could actually get rid of. But I think we want to go ahead and do... Confirm. We'll do like 1 to 10, maybe. Why does that guy show as 0? Confirm. I am... Here, you... It's sold. We'll do 100 here. Any newly announced games caught my eyes. Not real. I mean, there's some good ones coming out. All the directs and stuff like that have had some decent stuff that I'm sure everybody's already heard about. As far as things that are on my shortlist coming up, ooh. Let me check. I want to say there was something that I was like, I want to try that, but didn't have access to yet. Store list. Did I add it? I mean, I'm of course looking forward to the normal stuff. And if I can play through them, I will. I kind of want to play Paralives as well, speaking of a random thing. Star Wars Rogue Company. It would be fun, but it's not on my short list, oddly enough. I do want to play that 2.5D Final Fantasy, oddly enough. Oh god, my brain has grabbed onto the phrase, oddly enough. Fucking hell. Okay, let's see. Exsanguis is there. I want to say, let's see, is this it? Threads of Time looks interesting. Of course, Spooky Tales, because Gablin's going to be in that one. Hope I have time to try and stream those too. I wish. Gothic remake, I have feelings about the Gothic remake. Oh, one other one that's coming up that I will, if they can get me a press key, I will 100% stream that on day one, is Underkeep. But as far as the Gothic remake, I've been hearing bad things about it. I have a feeling that's going to be a little bit of a flop. The Expanse one, I have mixed feelings whenever it comes to Owlcat. I like their, like, the cores of their games, but they always throw in something that just like pulls me out of the moment. Yeah, Underkeep is super high on my list. Dark Lord's Tower was pretty fun. I don't know when that's going to release, though. Darkhaven, of course, which is basically like Red Faction meets Diablo. Yeah, 1 Going through the list actually reminds me I need to go submit my little code thing for IGTAP for a lottery chance to actually get it early. Oh, there is a... It's essentially a Terraria ripoff that's coming out that looked kind of interesting. It's called Kiora. Yeah, mostly I'm keeping an eye out for like indie stuff. But as judging by like the demo and stuff, 100% recommending Underkeep right now. Why are there so many games? Last year there were over 20,000 games released on Steam alone. And that's not 20,000 on the platform. That is 20,000 released from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. It's like, good God. Especially with like how much... Just as a heads up, I don't go... I pretty much just won't cover Gen AI stuff unless it is something extremely extraordinary situation, because there's so many similar games releasing with it. I personally don't like Gen AI, so it's just like I'd rather cover games that don't have it. I can understand it. I hate to say this, but I will sometimes let it slide if it is a unique enough experience, but that's not going to be most of the Gen AI games. And most of the ones that I say that about would be like Expedition 33. Yes, there is Gen AI in that because they used it to make some textures. And I think the faces and stuff like that were just UE 4 or 5s. But I do try to avoid Gen AI. If there is any other game that I can cover that doesn't have Gen AI, I will cover it. If there is an old version of game and they're remastering with Gen AI, I'll play the old version. Personally, I don't think it's even like that good for supporting. They're using it for a lot of things that we already had solutions for through other methods, like whiteboarding and blocking stuff in, basically idea boards and stuff like that. We had plenty of that before without Gen AI. You don't need that to do it. Yeah, UE5. But UE5 has a face generation thing. It's not generative AI. It is procedural. So, is AI usage and internal resources like code and stuff susceptible? Or if you mean susceptible, yes, it's susceptible to actually a few things. But some of them being extremely bad flaws. They're a lot harder to detect, though, until you start pushing at the edges of a game. There are games that I have played that it became apparent there was a lot of Gen AI vibe coding in. And you start running into these edge cases that are not normal bugs. They're more bugs coming from bad coding practice, which Gen AI is absolutely abso-frickin-lutely bad about. But my stance is I like neural networks. I like stuff like that for analyzing. They're even like testing your code is good with it. but most uses where you're creating something with it or using it to generate an idea board or something like that is stuff that is just wasting your time. And then you have stuff that is if it makes it into the final product, that's just a hard no. I will not play like your TCG that has Gen AI hard assets. It's just like, fuck off. Hi, Deladon. You came into a little bit of a rant. How are you doing today? We're going for true ending on here. I'm just going to go ahead and start day 17. We're not struggling. But I have been having a good week, but I am fairly tired. How have you been? Yeah, I am not a fan of Gen AI. If it's disclosed, I appreciate it. If it's disclosed, I won't blacklist anybody for it, but I will probably not cover their games. I would rather cover the non-Gen AI versions. Because unfortunately, due to the amount of games being released, there are a lot of genres which are just commodities. I'm curious if I view vibe coding, AI code, any different versus game assets generated via AI, done in taste. Is it the affront versus the artist worse than the versus the coders? For me, sorry. There's a few reasons why I don't like Gen AI. It's not even solely it just being an affront, if that makes sense. The data center expansion to accommodate Gen AI, the wild speculative market stuff, the frankly ridiculous amounts of environmental damage just from constructing the massive boom in data centers just to handle the generative AI demand, all are parts of things that give me pause of even covering a game with it. The other aspect is a quality issue, not even necessarily the copyright issue. Yes, some of it is absolutely just plagiarism 2.0. But in terms of vibe coding and stuff like that, it's hard to really plagiarize code unless you are doing something very specific. The issue with code, and we're seeing it, for those of you that are curious, go look up the rates at which, there's a few ways to do it. Probably the easiest one is Google Trends and just searching for, is such and such down? Especially with companies that are heavily invested in using AI in their processes. You will notice, starting about 2 years ago, a massive surge in site stability issues, in security issues and stuff like that with these companies that lean heavily into generative AI. There is a reason for this. And it is because of how vibe coding and stuff like that, despite what would happen in an ideal world, is actually happening. There's a lot of not processing that code. There is a lot of not double checking it, verifying. It's like they didn't pay attention to the lessons that we kind of learned to an extent or accepted whenever it was primarily a diagnostic tool with neural networks and stuff like that and machine learning. People are accepting Gen AI as more accurate than what it is. There's a lot of Palantir and yeah. There's a lot of all kinds of stuff going on, but generally speaking, you're going to be, I have said this a few times and I really hope I'm wrong about it. I swear I will be super happy if this never happens. But with the amount of vibe coding and stuff, especially whenever it comes to banking and other kind of things that need to be secure, how they're leaning into it, I would not be surprised if some really, really, really nasty, like, zero-day exploits pop up in the very near future. It's... let's see. Oh, you watch Dr. Kill, you'll just say, looks a lot like Swag and Sorcery. Swag and Sorcery, that sounds familiar. I don't think I have a copy of it. I could double check. That sounds super familiar. Might be thinking of something else. So true. Their business is all based on theft. Like, it's pretty open. The more view-focused everyone is worried about artists, while the coding folks are also being left in the wind. There's... a lot of people will point to the fact that, oh, there's a lot of programmers saying they love using it for repetitive tasks and stuff like that. As if that isn't happening elsewhere. It doesn't get as much publicity, but I'm not going to out their name. I'm not even going to say what the subject of their comic book is. But I happen to know a comic book artist who, I want to say within the last few years, had a successful Kickstarter for their comic. It's not their first one they've done. Probably won't be the last. But there are going to be a lot of people very, 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 very disappointed whenever that comic book comes out. Whenever it ships. Maybe it's not the same lessons aren't learned. It's that big data companies are trying to unlearn those mistakes from the public. I'm not entirely sure what you mean with that. But the rule of neural networks and stuff like that, whenever you're using it for like diagnostics and a lot of it, I don't think people realize how long that's been around, but there was a lot of it used in basically analyzing various x-rays, stuff like that. This is a lot of things that a lot of Gen AI defenders right now are trying to proclaim as being part of Gen AI, when rather it's the precursor, the neural networks, the machine learning, stuff like that, that Gen AI is built on, that were helping diagnose illnesses earlier than you could as a person because they'd notice certain patterns. Thing is, the accuracies of those is fairly low. You would always say, well, something showed up, and then you would go do a biopsy or something like that to verify it. A lot of the coding and stuff like that being done right now is not being verified. We're going to have a dead coding generation with how it's going. If you let those things handhold you while you're in educational leaders, oh god, yes. I think I ranted a bit about the dude using a lot of Gen AI for his comic. Which, yes, he is. I have seen some of his early drafts of what is going into the comic, and it is way worse than his actual artwork. Which is really kind of sad. Because he's actually a really good artist. Like, I mean really good. As in, Magic the Gathering card level good. I don't know if he's ever actually done one, but he's at that level. And he's bought into the whole Gen AI thing. He also bought into NFTs, but that's a whole different discussion. But in the education things, I have gone on huge rants about the amount of Gen AI being used for and by teachers. That is... It just comes across as so fucking stupid. It's not accurate. Gen AI is not accurate. It is procedural in the sense that it looks at the averages of what's commonly used and spits that shit out. It doesn't know anything. Is he... Feeding his stuff into the model is a thing. But a lot of people who say, oh, I trained it on my own work, they're taking something that was trained on the massive amount of other people's work and then putting theirs in it and saying, I want more like this. It's still based on that theft of billions of other people's works. Well, not of people, billions of pieces of works. It's kind of like if you got a big wheel of Parmesan and you melted it down into a giant pot. You have a big pot full of molten Parmesan. Saying you trained a model on your work, in most cases, is if you had that big pot of Parmesan and you sprinkled a little bit of your homemade cheese in it. That's pretty much what they're doing. If you're a model trained, there's actually been I'm trying to remember the guy's name. Probably won't be able to remember it off the cuff right now. But there was a photographer that did write and train a model solely on his photography. The sample set is unfortunately in a entire human's lifetime worth of photography or art creation or anything like that is going to be too small to, at least with our current technology. I'm not saying it can't happen in the future. With our current technology and current knowledge of machine learning and artificial intelligence models and stuff like that, it's not a large enough sample set to make satisfactory results. Even if you have hundreds of thousands of works. There's different types of AIs. I try to remember, I flub it up as much as anybody else. I try to remember to specifically reference it as generative AI. LLMs are a type, well, sort of. LLM is usually a generative AI model. I have to say usually. There are types of ingestion of this type of work that can be used for other things and have it not be generative. But most of the ones that people are going to be encountering day to day are definitely generative AI models if you're using large language models. This would be getting really far into the weeds, which is not really easy to do whenever I don't have like notes and stuff in front of me. Whenever I'm going on bigger discussions and getting into the nitpicky stuff regarding it, I do like to have actual notes. Because whenever I'm talking off the cuff, I will forget things or I will misstate things. Multimodal models now? True. That's one reason why a pet peeve of mine is the conflation of terms. I'm not bothered by the nuanced discussion of the actual technology changing terms and adding terms a lot. My pet peeve is a really good example of this is how all like smart TVs are now AI powered TVs, even though they've changed fuck all. This toaster's AI powered. It is just a smart toaster, which was stupid to begin with anyway. It's just, oh Lord. It can get to be a quagmire. There's also people trying to pretend that procedural generation, as far as, you know, like Diablo levels. Procedural generation is somehow... Oh wow, we are, tearing through stuff at the moment. But yeah, they want to conflate old AI that was like pathfinding and stuff like that with generative AI. There's companies that are trying to, and individuals that are trying to conflate all kinds of stuff like that. That's one reason why I try to remember to say Gen AI whenever I'm referring to Gen AI. Because there is actual, legitimate, really good uses for neural networks, machine learning, data analysis, all kinds of stuff. It's just... it keeps getting shoved into the same space as the one that's shit. Anything that has a motherboard can be called AI now? You'd think so. The way it's going, it's stupid. No, I have not read up on qubits and their programming languages. I don't do it as a job, so I like to keep informed, but I try not to get too deep into it, if that makes sense. Otherwise, things start pissing me off even more, and I just don't want to deal with it. I'd rather keep informed of the reality of the situation as much as it pertains to me or people I care about. I do have a history in software engineering. That's what I studied at university. I don't do it daily right now, and I'm actually not that good of a programmer myself. But you can follow the top level of it. We'll expose how they work. I might do a search on that when I have time. Obviously, right now I'm a bit busy and a bit scatterbrained because stuff I won't discuss on stream because I don't want to jinx it. So that, and it doesn't really have anything to do with stream either. You would highly recommend bet you. Yeah, it's. Oh, we're already getting to E's on here. Sweet. Let's go with excellent. And also worth noting, I am probably a little bit biased against Gen AI because of how much shit it's been doing on YouTube too. I do think there are very few professions that don't have skin in the game. It's just most people don't realize they have skin in the game. For me, I can do pseudocode super easy. If you're wondering like why I consider myself a bad programmer, I can do pseudocode damn near in my sleep. I start flubbing up whenever it's getting into specific language kind of stuff. Because I had to just, through the course of what I did with programming, had to kind of hop languages a decent amount. Kick speed? Music has stopped, and I'm upset. Probability-based quantum equations that sort through the data output of probability based on what was input into the model. Okay. Yeah, that's above my pay grade. That's delving into like some physics shit. I think quantum computing is above my pay grade. Now, let's go with that, I guess. I do think this is going to be kind of an odd thing. If we do ever actually get artificial intelligence, it probably will be quantum computing based. But right now, generative AI models are not, despite what they keep saying, generative AI models are not aware or have knowledge. They have data. That doesn't really clearly explain it, I don't think, but that is the only phrasing I can think of that even comes close to explaining what it is. I absolutely hate all the modern equivalent of mechanical Turk shit that's going on lately. Like, oh no, it's sentient, it's trying to survive, it's coming up with these weird phrases, and then you dive in and you realize, oh, it's just someone put a gate or a freaking weight on it and said, oh, look, you're gonna try and do this just to impress investors or to scare this person so they go and talk to Congress about it. It's just like, come on, you motherfuckers. Just because you don't have a guy hiding in a little freaking box underneath it playing chess does not mean you're not pulling a mechanical Turk. Just like, God dang. Generative AI is not escaping our control or anything right now. It's black box. That's true. A lot of what we do with it, a lot of what people do with it in general, is not well known how it's actually functioning because it's just layers and layers and layers of stuff. And it's kind of self-adapting in a way, but not in the way they want you to believe. It's hard to explain. But at the same time, it's very easy to point out that no, generative AI is not sentient. It is not trying to survive. It is going for specific weights, specific barriers. It's kind of actually a good example that you might be able to pop into, and just like if it's someone who doesn't know a lot about the technology in general. A good thing that they could hop into is go look at whenever I think it was Claude code got leaked. If you stop and go and look at that, and look specifically at how Claude handled requests for information about programming. They had actually gone in and hard-coded a decent number of things into it because it kept getting stuff wrong. Yeah, probability equations given trillions of data, this is probably what you want. Yeah. And generally speaking, due to probability and stuff like that, we will reach a point where they actually become less accurate the more data they ingest. Yeah, there's no intelligence to it. That's the same thing as mechanical Turks. You are trying to present it as something that it is not. Which, if you're really interested in history, by the way, the mechanical Turk story, really fun thing to rabbit hole on. 100% recommend that if you are into rabbit holing into like any kind of like cool historical knowledge. That's a fun one, especially whenever you see how long it lasted. It is wild. And I am going to go ahead, get rid of that. I'm going to just buy a bunch of these just to get them out of the way. Clear that out. Main issue is them feeding on each other, ending up with probable results based on probable results. I mean, I've also said this for several years, but the inbreeding of Gen AI, frankly, has been a problem for years now. And I hate referring to it as inbreeding, but it's essentially what it is. They can fix stuff like, oh, that has 6 fingers instead of 5, or it has the wrong number of teeth or hyper detailed teeth. Those kind of things, they can be fixed. And this is borderline conspiratorial thought here, but I do think that there are groups out there that are just like leaking their Gen AI slop that they've made and asking, is this AI specifically so people will tell them how they're detecting it? Crazy how the century started and boomed up to this development in these short decades. Yeah. There has been a distinct shift in a few areas. And frankly, I have to say I've been disappointed in how we as humanity in general have handled things for the better part of the last decade. I will leave it vague as to why I specifically say the last decade, because I do think before that we were kind of on not the right path, but a better path. And things have gone fairly well tits up. And that is not good. Sure, the pendulum will swing back, but I can only just hope it's within my lifetime. You think most modern issues stem from a lack of transparency? Maybe. I don't even think it's necessarily transparency. I think it's... We are in the information age. Information is something that we are not used to having in quite the quantities we have it now. A good example is crime rates. Most people, well, a lot of people, feel like the world is a more dangerous place right now. Even compared to, like, say, the 90s. And yes, I am using the 90s for a specific reason. A lot of people think that the world is a more dangerous place than 90s. Upcoming quota is 600K. Yeah, we're not going to be anywhere near having an issue with these. I don't even need to sit here bothering to buy these. But can we actually afford 100K? We might be able to. I'm not going to sit here and math it out. But yeah, I just lost my train of thought. I'm out of the macro train. But anyway, I think that a lot of issues aren't so much a lack of transparency, though that certainly is an issue, so much as there is so much easily accessible and reinforced misinformation. Like Fox News kind of stuff, for example. You'll have stuff from that particular brand of media production stating certain things that are obviously, if you had less access to just information from everywhere, you'd probably be surrounded by people that would just tell you that's fucking dumb. Yeah, it's gonna try and turn back on me. I don't think we're gonna actually run into a problem with it, though. Go ahead and get that. But oh yeah, we're gonna start needing to do whatchamacallit, whistling more. In fact, we should probably just use that as our mining thing for now. And kick speed. But yeah, it's just, there's all the town idiots, or all the town fools, whatever you want to call them, are able to share and reinforce their idiotic views. And that inadvertently lends a little bit of credence that it shouldn't lend, because, oh, here's thousands, if not tens or hundreds of thousands of people that are saying the same thing. There's got to be some truth there, right? No. No, it doesn't mean there's truth there just because a lot of people are saying it. There's a lot of people that think the moon landing was fake. There's a lot of people who think the Earth is flat. Just because it's being said by a large crowd, especially if it's an insular crowd. We're going to go with kick speed. Doesn't mean it's true. And I'm sure I get gotten by similar things as well. We're all human, and this is the amount of information in the wild right now is not anything our brains evolved to handle, like at all. Our brain is not meant to handle this amount of information. And frankly, Gen AI is kind of like the Industrial Age's version of lead. Because we're going to start seeing some pretty gnarly side effects of it within our lifetimes. I'm not even sure I would call it like necessarily. I mean, yeah, it does fall into the same category as bandwagons, but it's almost like a contrarian bandwagon, if that makes sense. It's like, here's the evidence, but here's a bunch of people saying that evidence isn't right, even though if you go and test it yourself, the evidence is corroborated by what's happening. Burnout from generative AI is awful coders with dementia comes and goes. I did not know about the coders with dementia thing. I would have to go and check that one and verify it. But generative AI is just giving you more work. And once the subsidizing of cost disappears, if they think that the fact that it's more expensive than just hiring people is bad now, just you fucking wait. They're already complaining about how much more it costs to buy their tokens than to actually just pay people to do it. At least some companies are. And tokens are still being subsidized. This is not the full price. This is not the we're turning a profit stage yet. It is not democratizing art, coding, etc. in the least. See, 3 different PhD subjects each week for 3 weeks, then you couldn't remember where you put your phone down for days. There's also trying to think of how to broach the subject without being insensitive to people with particular types of mental disorders. Even if we move away from talking about productivity-focused Gen AI usage, you do also run into the chatbot situation. And I suppose you could argue that it's maybe mildly, in a way, similar to like just the modern equivalent of Cat Lady, but with Gen AI, but it's really not. Where people are getting attached and getting almost not intellectually reliant on it, but emotionally reliant on like chatbots and stuff like that. Because of their sycophantic nature, because they're programmed to be that way. They are designed to be appealing to you so you want to use them more. And people start favoring that even over like normal human interaction. Learn not to use it to effect, not on the daily. See, the only things that I actually use generative AI for, and this is like at most once every few months, is for actually checking how people view my stuff on the platforms, because people are using it as a search engine. It's basically market research. Everything else, I have no need for Gen AI. I have done everything I do today without Gen AI for decades. And Gen AI does not speed it up. In fact, it slows it down in some cases. In the few times I've actually tried it. It's just like, duh. Duh. Rant, rave. Anyone have some happy subjects we can talk about for a minute? Oh, Lord. Decades, centuries, millennia. I am, in fact, the old man of the rock. Exactly. Back in my day, I remember having to teach dirt how to do addition. That's how we got fucking rocks. Happy topics? Only up to a certain point of happy. I don't need to hear about the sexual lives or of viewers. You survived your second week of work? Oh, sweet. How is it going there, by the way? I keep meaning to ask that. Are they at least treating you well there? Because I remember all the stuff you had to jump through dealing with their nonsense. I do help people with it, and it's fun. Okay, that's good. Orb of Creation 1.0 is soon. Oh. Let me see if I can remember what that one is. Looks very familiar. Oh, I know that one from, I think Wanderbot covered it. I didn't know that was getting close to 1.0. No, last update made by the developers was over 3 years ago. What? How is it hitting 1.0 soon? Oh, never mind. They actually did an announcement. But no, I saw Wanderbot's video on it. Speaking of people you should watch, definitely check out Wander. He is good folk. He doesn't stream anymore, not really. He does sometimes, but he mostly just does videos these days. Let's see. You had a colleague who thought that there were bridges missing, but they aren't qualifiers for bridges. We call them stone coffins, and they are like little water spring passages that might look like a bridge, but aren't. Just sweep of 18 kilometers of railroad? Oh, geez. On satellite and plane photos, okay. That's still a lot. But yeah, I have known Wander since the Strangeland days, so that would be, God, I want to say he was like at 12,000 subs back then. Whenever he joined, it was somewhere around that. Might have been slightly higher. I remember when Blitz was at 24K. Bringing out all the old names. I don't talk to Blitz much. I haven't talked to Blitz in, years. I don't know what he's even been up to lately. But he was a good guy back then. I just haven't really had anything to cross over with him. Yesterday was Board Game Club at work. You never had such a bad bang. Had such bad bang games on record. What? Did you have bad luck, or were they just bad games? I'll just start day 20. I'm not even like paying attention to what I'm buying right now. Let's go. Minor damage. Wet damage. Kick speed. Oh, you got... Okay. That sucks. I'm going to go with kick damage. We're probably going to start seeing lag. Just a heads up. Sheriff Bumblefuck. Well, I may have to... Don't make me change my character's name to that. I'm the archaeologist, Dr. Bumblefuck. Considering how I roll, that would actually be kind of appropriate. You will encounter Sheriff Bumblefuck. Looking forward to it. Let's go kick damage. Have I considered Dr. Bones? I would, but I am a mature individual. And I say that with the largest sarcastic air quotes you have ever seen. If I name any character Bones, any sort of innuendo, really, I cannot play that character in mixed company. Just gotta make sure that one is clear. Speaking of things being fucked up, let's actually double check. Yeah, 50 and 200, so we're good there. Because, yeah, I will lean into those innuendos. If you find a one-shot and you can find a friend to sneak into a game with, you're so going to do Ian McKellen and Derek Jacobi's characters in Vicious. Find someone who dares. I don't know. I currently... I have the urge to play a joke character, but I'm kind of torn as to just how far a joke I want to be. Because if I go... I tend to prefer serious campaigns. I like semi-serious and super serious. I tend not to be very attracted to just like, oh, we're just some silly guys kind of campaigns. So... playing a silly character in not a silly campaign is a toxic D&D story waiting to happen, usually for me. Oh, there's someone older than us. Oh, it's a mirror. Oh, God. Man, I have aged more gracefully than I thought I would, but I definitely caught myself in the mirror. I'm like, damn, that's a lot of gray hair. Have a good day at work. And it was fun chatting. Sorry if I ranted a little bit too much. I know that there's a lot of people that get turned off of streams whenever people are getting almost political, but I do appreciate chatting about at least interesting subjects. We are almost at, I think it's day 25 that's the trending, or is it 35? I usually end up being the straight man character, which is fair, doesn't sit well with you. Got jokes over here. But no, I relate to that. Usually, and this is actually one reason I'm kind of regretting playing the dumb character right now. For those of you wondering, yes, in the current campaign I'm playing off camera, I have a very low int character. I am finding it very hard not to be like, this is what we should do. Because I'm used to playing at least reasonably intelligent characters. And whenever people aren't willing to press the buttons, I can't justify doing it on the dumb character. if the dumb character wouldn't know to push the button. It's a button for smart people. Not for lump. So I've had to kind of like deviate and make him actually think of, well, we should do this because reasons. So yeah. I need to find a group of like probably 5 like super consistent players that get overly invested in the game. Not just invested. There's plenty of like great players who get really interested in playing campaigns. I need people who get over invested. People who are like, you give them a character and they'll be thinking about it 4 of the 7 days of the week. Because they're just that interested in trying to explore a world and trying to figure out how to work through things. You're the dumb, spontaneous character, but then again, the group you're in is people who get choice paralysis and overthink everything. I can relate to that. For me, I definitely need to find a group that has more people willing to push buttons. Because that is a struggle in a lot of groups that I have seen, is people are kind of hesitant to be like, oh, I see a door over there. There's smoke coming from under it. There's a lot of people who will be sitting there. They will either immediately try to bust down the door and just go in and assume that it's just a fire. But they won't ask what the building looks like other than the door. Kind of situation, if that makes sense. It's just... I'm probably explaining it badly because my brain is just... Okay, so we're currently at 1.7 million needed for the next day. How much do we need for the next upgrade? Because we're currently on Spinel. Uranium, we need 1.43. You know what? Let's just start day 21 and go through it. Your next deep dive character is likely a barbarian halfling. If in 2014 you'll be haunted by your family, you'll be haunted in your family, like walking around with all the Mulan ghosts around you, which would allow you or your DM to get some really fun banter and backstory in. And if it's 2024, you'll do a more World Tree sort of Viking vibe, the real Viking vibe, not the Marvel, of course. And hopefully be allowed to fight with a spear you can reflavor as a pitchfork. I would gladly refavor let you just do spear stuff with a pitchfork. In fact, generally speaking, if somebody were to want to have a pitchfork character, I would have ideas it'd probably be stronger than just a base spear. Because pitchforks, I could totally see being used for disarming strikes and stuff. But yeah, that sounds like a fun character. Another thing I get stuck doing is being the healer a lot. I don't mind being the healer. In fact, I do enjoy being a healer in games. But I hate feeling pressured to become a healer, even though I'm not. I have been in games where the healers didn't heal, if that makes sense. or where the healer would almost always be the first one down. And that just makes it kind of difficult if you're playing one of the other roles. Let's go with employee minor damage. I might just let them just do whatever they want for the next few rounds, so I don't even have to like focus on it. And we can chat about random things. But yeah, I like being a variety of characters, and I do feel like a lot of times I just get pigeonholed into the same ones, unfortunately. Let's see. Your last healer was very one-to-one healer in the sense that everyone whined when they weren't at 100% HP. Oh, I never worry about keeping people at 100% HP. And when I'm playing a tank, I don't care if I'm at like 20% HP. But my issue is, and this has oddly enough been a thing in a lot of games I've been in. Current one, not so bad about it. But in a lot of games that I've been in, there's been an issue where a lot of people, for some reason, think that their healer is a tank instead of either letting the tank, or some of them even get in the way of like the DPS and stuff like that. It's like, no, you are a healer. Yes, you can do damage. Stick to your range shit, please. If we get ambushed, fine. That's a totally understanding situation, but please do not go give things a hug. Let the huggy character do the hugging. let the halfling barbarian hug them. And I shouldn't be so like nitpicky. It's somebody else's character. Let them play it how they want. But I also I'm used to playing the role, so I see more like the openings and stuff like that, if that makes sense. It's like watching other people play Diablo 2. When I'm watching them play separately from me, they can do whatever they want and it's fine. But it does bother me if I'm playing with them and they're like, no, I'm going to ignore the suggestions. I'm going to do this stupid shit. Please don't. You've played the bulky boy with hugs and kisses? See, there are a ton of different types of characters, and that is a fun one to play. Let's go minor speed so they can pop around a bit more. Paparazzi? No. They're actually making their way into this. Let's go ahead and get this down here. Reducing the lag a little bit. I'm going to move away from that so I don't give people a seizure. Oh yeah, as you start getting up to a certain point in this, it's just like, there is no avoiding the lag. As you can see by like the random explosions out here, there's shit going on. What day should we go for on this? I should probably check. What is true ending day on this? Because I really don't remember. Because I don't usually pay attention to it. I want to say it's day 25, but I'm not certain. You have a lot of characters you wish you could play? Yeah. I'm also the big thing that I'm bad about, for anyone that's curious, I'm a bad player in campaigns for this reason thing is I have a lot of character ideas. I want to eventually play those characters. So part of my brain eventually goes, well, if this character dies, I could do this other thing. I all of my characters are precious to me. But I guarantee you any campaign I'm in, I have backup characters. Whether I have brought them in or not, I have ideas. I have usually a bit of a write-up for multiple backup characters. Usually of a variety of different classes. Okay, do we go uranium? Yes. And also, there's a whole lot of what even. Let's actually not do that one. That's the one we want. But yeah, even just like in general, I'll make characters even if there's not a campaign for them because I do like making NPCs and stuff like that. How far can we get with uranium? Probably pretty far. Yeah, we've already hit the goal. I should just run a West Marches. Unfortunately, I would totally like 100% just do a just big stream-based West Marches. If your character dies, the next person on the list can jump in kind of situation. But unfortunately, due to how the internet works, it's not safe for the channel to do. If that makes sense. Yeah, I'm just going after chests. Because we have more than reached our goal. Oh, airstrike damage, sure. I'm gonna go up a ways. Let's see what we have up here. I am thinking about just beelining today. 25. Okay, so we can't do yellow yet. They're off getting resources for us. Let's improve our wet damage. More wet damage. Huzzah. I should probably check how the video's doing as well. Considering how many months has it been since I released a video on the main channel? I should also... I kind of wish I would have been capturing our playthroughs of Monster Prom. Not Monster Prom, Monster Con. Because I think a review of that would be warranted. Because it is such a fun game. I am glad that they kind of as far as like the Monster Prom series, I am glad they did not stick with the Monster Road Trip formula. That is probably the only Monster Con that I didn't have a ton of fun with. I love the first Monster Prom. I love Monster Camp. Monster Road Trip felt... I think the only way I could really describe it is it felt too competitive, but all of them are competitive to an extent. It just felt like you had to play with people who were willing to like manage the resources and shit, which felt kind of contrary to how the rest of the games play. You're reminded a lot of being told which character that was suicidal on your character. Okay. I am reminded a lot of being told in character that you were suicidal on your character, in terms of, if I die, I can play this instead. But honestly, you'd rather play a character without regrets and or joy of combat and knowing your allies are safe than you would hiding behind big allies. Cowardice really sits poorly with you, even on squishies. I have mixed feelings on it. I generally try... Like, I will play a cowardly character. I don't have a problem with cowardly characters by their nature. If that's the personality the character has, more power to them kind of situation. I don't particularly like playing, oh no, the world's going to hurt me, I need to hide type characters. I will in certain situations, but I'm not a huge... It's not one of my main types. But I do get that as well, that for me it's more because I am big on open communication whenever I am doing long campaigns especially. I do prefer having an open discourse both with the other players and with the DM, whether I'm the DM or not. I want to know, do you have backup characters? Are you interested in your character right now? Do you want your character to go away? Do you want your character to possibly be able to come back if they go away? How would you feel if your character died next session? I am fine with being told about that stuff. And there are a lot of DMs and players alike that take any communication of, oh, if my character dies XYZ, as indicative that you want your character to die. Both of us know we want a moving and dynamic fighting to be yes. I love dynamics, both in combat and in roleplay. Your feelings on characters dying is sadness. Dusted is your highest character played from the beginning up. My stance on my character dying. When my character dies, I will probably be the saddest person at the table about it. Inside. But I will immediately fucking crack jokes about my character as well. Because it's my job to mourn the character. It's their character's job to miss my character, but not the player's job. If that makes sense. I do grow attached to every single one of my characters. Currently, there's a character I have named M. He's not dead, but I won't be able to play him again for a very long while unless we figure out a way to, quote-unquote, rescue him at some point. But, did I? No, I didn't get high enough. I think that was... I think we're about to be starting day 25 or some crap. I get attached to all my characters, but I do have backups because I enjoy playing a variety of characters. You can have more than one friend. But also, you don't think you would like to be played Dusted any different. He's currently riding without a saddle on a storm dragon in its lair at the moment, and it's burrowing into the sand while he tries to hang on. That's cool. You would never pass up that just to keep him safe. Yeah, if my character would... If there was like a context and situation where my character would jump in front of a train and it would guaranteed kill that character and it was in his personality profile, I would do it. I'd still feel bad about losing the character, but I would do it. That doesn't mean that I don't want to play the character anymore. It just means that that's what needs to happen for that character. A good example is actually in the campaign I'm currently part of with Lump. If certain undisclosed things go a certain path that I think they might be able to, Lump will sooner go ape shit and probably die in the process than to compromise a certain aspect of himself, even though other things are influencing him to be different from himself. You swear the amount of tail swipes you get sitting on its back hurt like hell, but it's absorbing all the legendary actions. You do have to absorb those legendary actions. That way, other characters do not get particularly messed up. We're already past the goal for this level, by the way. I could just sit here. I think we've basically guaranteed we get past day 25. I don't think I'm going to go full on 30 some odds. I think we just go to day 25 and call it, because unless someone can tell me otherwise, I think that is the true ending day. Unless I'm really not remembering. Yes, I just ended day early. Because I am curious if 25 is actually it. It's going to bother me. Because the days do get longer as you get further into this. Not because the timer gets longer. The timer's the same. It's because the game slows down. And I do feel like the Onyx stuff and Moonstone stuff is mostly just for people pushing maximum days. You should make some dinner. What you thinking of making? I need some ideas for dinner tonight anyway. Or lunch. And day 25. Only need 50 million for this one. Already there. I think this is true ending. Yep, there's the true ending. You have some meatballs you could make and some rosti. I think with a salad and some dressing, it'd be yum. Ooh. You know, a salad does sound really good right now. I don't think I'm going to go the rest of the way into endless mode. We've gotten the true ending. And this build has gone much further before. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I might just have just a salad. I might just make a big bean and salad with beans, black olives, possibly some chicken. Tossing in maybe something with some crunch and a spicy. I think I might go with a just spicy dressing. A little bit of cayenne, some Thousand Island, maybe a little bit of maybe some garlic in it as well. But that has been a stream. Sorry for the shorter streams lately. I've just been a bit tuckered. Because life, nothing bad, just tuckered out. But let's see if there's anybody streaming that we know of right now. Since we have done our a little bit of fun there. Oh, Twitch. Do we have anybody? Not that I'd feel comfortable rating off of this. So I will let you guys off into the wild. I'm going to go make myself that salad probably. If not right now, maybe later. So keep gaming, have fun. Peace out as usual. Might do some more streams of this off and on, but I think we're kind of hitting way past my scheduling and limit abilities, so I'm not going to promise it or even say it's likely. But bye. It was fun. Lots of ranting.